she rightly said, my name is Ibrahim Walamani, and I am a Brunel graduate, 2019-2020 cohort. And currently I work as a technical sales engineer with a company based in Crawley and London. So today's presentation is just on my study experience at Brunel and how it propelled my career, and specifically how I ended up with a graduate job in the UK as an international student. So I'll start with my slides. So this is just me having my graduation and shaking the house of our Brunel. Okay. So just a short agenda of this presentation today. So I'll begin with an introduction of myself, where I'll speak a bit more about my background and my studies at Brunel. Then I will speak a bit more on why I decided to study renewable energy engineering and why I chose Brunel University. Most importantly, how it propelled my career. And I'll give highlights on my job hunt experience and delve deeper into applying for jobs as an international student and other necessities to land your dream job in the UK, such as networking and building connections, and also some challenges in the job hunt process, staying positive and persistent, and finally a conclusion, and I'll leave room for questions and answers. So as I mentioned earlier, the aim of today's presentation is to share my study experience at Brunel and how it propelled my career, with a particular focus on getting how I got a job in the UK, just sharing some tips so that it could be useful to fellow international students as they go through their Brunel experience. So my name is Ibrahim Walamani. I am a renewable energy engineer, but currently I work as a technical sales engineer at Naked Energy. Naked Energy is a British pioneering solar thermal technology developer with a mission to facilitate achieving net zero emissions using by decarbonizing heat using their novel, innovative solar technology, which is the world's highest energy density solar thermal collectors. I'm a Ghanaian by nationality, and I had my early education in Ghana. I studied a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering at one of the nation's topmost universities, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. From there, I proceeded to study a master's degree in renewable energy engineering at Brunel University under the prestigious UK government's Chevening Scholarship 2019-2020 cohort. I am also a fellow for Engineering for Change, and Engineering for Change is a fellowship is it's a fellowship that selects talented engineers globally to apply their engineering expertise to address regional and global problems pertaining to sustainable development. I am also an Unleashed talent and facilitator, and Unleash is a renowned non-profit organization aimed at accelerating the realization of sustainable development goals. And they handpick selected candidates called talents to meet every year to innovate towards the realization of these goals. And then I was a talent and a facilitator now, where I facilitate these events as well. Relatably, I'm a graduate alumni ambassador for Brunel University, and was among the 150 chosen energy leaders by Enel Foundation under the Open African Power program. So why I decided to study renewable energy engineering. But first of all, what is renewable energy engineering? In simple terms, renewable energy engineering focuses on producing energy from renewable or sustainable sources. Renowned ones include solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, biomass, tidal, and many more are being developed as we evolve. It involves research and development of new technologies to generate clean energy aimed at reducing greenhouse gases and their associated consequences that we are all experiencing currently, climate change and global warming. But why I decided to study renewable energy is actually because of my passion for the SDGs, particularly on SDG 7, which is affordable and clean energy. This stems from my background in Ghana, where I witnessed rural communities using unclean energy sources, such as firewood, and also the erratic supply or unreliable electricity grid in our nation. So these were some of the motivators behind me deciding to pursue my studies at Brunel in the program Renewable Energy Engineering. So I know everybody has their reason for choosing Brunel. I just decided to highlight a few influences why I decided to study at Brunel. And primarily, as we all know, Brunel is a university that is known to have excellent teaching and learning experience. In terms of research in engineering, what I studied is one of the leading with state-of-art laboratory facilities to help you with your studies. But mainly I chose Brunel and the course Renewable Energy Engineering because of the accreditations the course had. These include accreditations from the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, IMEC-E, and the Energy Institute in the UK. And the reason that I decided to pursue this program with these accreditations is because of my long-term goal of becoming a chartered engineer. And a chartered engineer is basically an engineer who is recognized by the Engineering Institute of the United Kingdom. Also, just on the side, London is a great city. I've always wanted to live in London. So Brunel happened to be in London, and it was just one of the additional reasons why I decided to study at Brunel. So now coming to the main focus, how Brunel propelled my career. Primarily, I earned a recognized degree from a reputable institution, Brunel. And also the program I studied is a unique program. The structure is unique. And this allowed me to pursue a plethora of opportunities. And just to share a little bit of what makes the structure unique. So compared to other renewable energy engineering courses in the UK, Brunel's course has a solid grounding in the core principles of energy production, detailed knowledge of renewable energy technologies and systems. Then it couples this with economic and environmental impact of renewable energy systems and the legislation behind these, planning and technical considerations of integrating these systems into the power grid. So this made it stand out unique, and the knowledge and expert skills I gained from this has actually opened a lot of plethora of opportunities for me, where people realize potential employers or like employers in the market actually see Brunel Engineering, they respect it because of its reputation. And the program, the unique structure of the program itself just allows you to be able to apply to more jobs and stand out in the crowd. So it gives you a competitive edge during your job hunt process. And also, whilst even working in the industry, you are able to relate so much more because of what you've studied previously. So it's more of like tailored to industry practice as well. So all these sums up to the fact that this allows you to pursue many opportunities, which could be job offers, which would be like progression to study a PhD or other opportunities that are suitable. So to talk more about my job hunt experience, I just decided to categorize it into a few stages here. So primarily, I started applying for jobs early, and this is something I'll recommend to international students. I started even before my graduation, but that was after after I had written my taught modules exams. So during the period of my dissertation and after completing my dissertation in this process, I had already started applying to several jobs. And I know some other colleagues of mine even started way earlier than that. And I would recommend anyone who has the intention of securing a job in the UK as an international student should start the process early. So once I had the intention to start early, I created accounts on job boards, notably Indeed, CV Library. I specifically joined student circles, which actually advertises only visa-sponsored jobs. Another useful platform that I was on was Grad Cracker. So I just joined so many job boards, uploaded my CV, refined and uploaded my CV on these job boards, and I even got contacted directly by some recruiters without even applying for jobs. So this is another I would recommend. LinkedIn, we all know now, is almost you can't do without LinkedIn. Is really very important for you to propel in your career. So I kept on updating my LinkedIn profile. I attended job fairs and also networking events. I joined Bright Network, and it was really helpful to me in many ways. I also had help with refining my CV using materials from Brunel career services. So this helped me tailor my cover letters to the job I was applying for, which is very necessary. And also my CV, tailoring my CV to the job requirements, putting in keywords from the job. And the Ready Challenge was also really a highlight during my time at Brunel. It's a workforce development program. I guess some of you over here might have already been part of the Ready Challenge, but it's a workforce development program, and I really learned a lot. I networked with other people, or colleague students who weren't even in engineering. And the main aim was to innovate towards upgrading the quality of life of refugees settlements in Mayuko, Zambia. Yeah, if I'm not mentioning it wrongly. So I'm sure there could be other professional or career development programs such as Ready Challenge in Brunel. So I would recommend students join these. So in the process of applying for jobs, I did these, and I recommend as well. So I applied to a variety of roles. So as this boils back to the point where studying a unique course, which allows you to study so many things and opens so many doors for you to apply for jobs. So I studied many renewable energy technologies, including solar, wind, hydropower, and others. So I could apply for jobs in almost all these sectors, and even in other areas such as the legislation of these technologies. So I applied to a variety of roles, but obviously tailored to my skill set. Then I also applied to roles matching my level of experience. So prior to studying a master's degree at Brunel, I had a few years working experience. So I usually filter some jobs based on the level of experience they are looking for. So if it's beyond my level of experience, then I kind of like prioritize jobs that are within my level of experience so that I have a greater chance of going through. So I tailored my job applications to my experience level, and also some jobs that probably aren't just directly renewable energy related, but could have some transferable skills and areas that I'm equally passionate about. Then also, as a graduate, I also looked at applying to jobs that are even entry-level roles. And these are roles that I would just love to start from scratch and just develop a career alongside. So these are a few tips that you could use. But most importantly, networking and building connections is immensely beneficial in this whole process. So my current job that I'm working at, I actually had it based on a referral from a classmate at Brunel, Magid Suleiman. Shout out to him, who recommended me for the job. So I went through the regular interview processes and everything, but I actually got to know about the job opening, the vacancy from him, and make good connections with your classmates, your professors. I had referrals from my professors as well. And also I have a very good LinkedIn presence. So I have connections that I mutually exchange job opportunities with and other professional opportunities. So through that, I had a lot of recommendations for jobs as well. So just network extensively, build connections with colleagues and professors, and also like-minded industry professionals. Job search is a tiring process. It's exhausting, and most people at certain points give up for several reasons. I stay positive, and I would recommend you stay positive throughout the whole process. It's good you have in mind that it's going to be a daunting process, but also psyching yourself to stay positive throughout the process will be really beneficial. Personally, I had several job offers, but most of them denied me visa sponsorship, and it was a bit demoralizing. But then I stayed positive and persistent, and eventually my persistence paid off. So I ended up with a visa sponsored job, and this was even after I returned to Ghana and almost 2 years afterwards. But then I was working in Ghana in a similar industry, so it was really just the experience that I needed to transfer back to the UK. So even without rejections of denial of visa sponsorship, there are even jobs that you apply that you just get rejected, and mostly you don't even have a reason why you are rejected. Just take rejections easily, I would recommend, and just persevere despite these rejections. There's always a light at the end of every tunnel. So throughout all these, I set goals for myself, and I celebrated small wins. Yeah, I didn't initially get meet most of my goals within the timeline that I had, but I met smaller goals, so I celebrated these smaller wins. So I appreciate the small wins that you get, and overall, I prioritize my well-being and mental health. As I said, it's a daunting process, and it could affect you psychologically, and that's not the stage you have to get to. So you have to stay strong, prioritize your well-being, and keep applying. So in conclusion, just to allow more time for any questions, my study experience at Brunel propelled my career, mainly by opening a plethora of professional opportunities. And as I mentioned just in the earlier slide, securing a job in the UK as an international student requires determination, a positive attitude, and also the willingness to put in the work. You can feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. The name is Ibrahim Wolamandi.